Hey, Fae folk, welcome back. So, as you can see, today I have a co-host. This is my cat Reese. Some of you may be familiar with her. She has made like a I almost said physical. I guess that kind of works. She has made a visual appearance on the channel a couple of times before, but more often you might just hear a few of her little meows sort of in the distance. Obviously, she's a lot more up close today. I don't know how long she'll stay, but we're so happy to have you while you're here, Miss Weiss. Hopefully, if she meows or purrs at all, that won't bother you. You need a good brushing, girly pop. It hasn't been that long, but my goodness, you are shedding. Hopefully, she also won't like hit the mic too often. She does like to butt up against things. We'll see, but she's adorable. I can't be mad at her for being here. Anyway, though, to the point of the video today, we're going to be doing the first Dolls I Don't Want video of 2025. And I feel like I've finally struck a good balance this time around. If you've seen a lot of my videos before, you know that typically when I do these videos, I end up waiting too long and then I have too many dolls to talk about and it's just like a whole thing. But I think that we're relatively at like a good point today. There's like a decent number of dolls to talk about. Mostly I'm just worried that I'm going to blab too much, but we'll see how that ends up going. I'm trying so hard to like stop her from hitting the mic. She's just such a baby. So if you aren't familiar with what the Dolls I Don't Want series is, it's where I take a look at dolls that have, at dolls, not that dolls, at dolls that have come out recently or are going to be coming out soon. Basically anything new-ish that we've got stock photos for, because I only use stock photos because I am in fact quite paranoid about keeping my videos up. And I just talk about why I don't want to buy the dolls. I am going to be making the more positive companion video this time around, so my next upload will be the inverse, the dolls that I do want. But today we're just focusing on sort of an anti-haul situation, talking about the dolls that I don't plan on buying for one reason or another. Sometimes that is just like they're not really for me. I think they're perfectly fine dolls, but I don't personally love them. Sometimes I have a lot more intense feelings, and there is definitely one in particular that I know I'm gonna like semi crash out about. It's not serious. It's not like actually anything important. I'm just, I don't know, opinionated. So hopefully that will be fun. I do have to give the typical disclaimer that these are just my opinions. If you disagree and you love these dolls, that is totally chill, and I hope you have fun buying them. Just, you know, please be polite in the comments if we don't see eye to eye on that. But with that said, Reese, you just smacked it so hard, baby. Let's go ahead and jump into the dolls. Alrighty, so to jump right on into things, we only have two brands that I wanted to discuss today, Monster High and then Barbie. So we're going to be taking a look at Monster High first. And we are starting off with the Beetlejuice collector set, the second one with Beetlejuice and Lydia in like their sort of wedding attire. I did do a whole video on my thoughts on this release, so I'm going to be pretty brief with this one. These aren't for me. I've never seen Beetlejuice or the sequel. I probably never will because, like, I'm going to be honest, I just don't care enough to decide to watch it. So these dolls weren't my target anyway. I have pros and cons about them in terms of the visuals. I do think that it's kind of lame to get like repeat characters just because there's so many other characters that we could be getting in Collector. But yeah, various reasons that I didn't want to get these. I don't feel like the most strongly about it, but I didn't particularly like them. Hi. You're so sweet. No, you can't nudge the microphone. I don't know what that's going to sound like. It might not be nice for the people, Reese. She's like, I don't care about the people. I just want pets. Moving on to the Scary Sweet birthday line. I think that's what it's called. These, like, there are a few lines that we are going to be discussing today for Monster High that kind of feel like counterparts to lines that we got in Gen 1. So my brain keeps wanting to call this the Sweet 1600 line because it's very, very similar to that line from Gen 1, but I know that's not it. I think it's the Scary Sweet birthday. The only doll that we're going to be talking about from the main lineup in today's video is the Cleo. I do think there's a lot to love about this Cleo. I think her face is gorgeous. I mean, I almost always think that Cleo's face is gorgeous, to be fair. I do think that the hairstyle is kind of interesting. I've seen mixed receptions on that, but it looks like she's sort of got like this interesting headpiece that kind of goes under her hair. It's kind of fun. It's kind of different. I could vibe with it. I am very curious to see what this dress looks like with the big like plastic cage removed, because if it looks good, I might want to get her on sale because I do like a lot of things about this doll. Like I said, like the base doll I think is really cool. I think the black, it looks like they're just sleeves that she's got going on are nice. The necklace is cool. I just don't really like the cage. Like I don't know. I don't think it necessarily works for Cleo. To be fair, I don't really love the shoes either. The fact that there's like icing on it is like, it's dipping too much into the sweets territory. I know this is the Scary Sweet birthday, but I feel like not all of the dolls feel like they're actively food themed, but the fact that she's got frosting on her shoes and sort of frosting, it looks like on the sort of cage situation, I don't know. It's just not something that I particularly vibe with. I do, in theory, like the shape for this cage. It's very structured, very interesting. I don't know if I buy it for Cleo specifically. I have seen a lot of people say that it either reminds them of the canopic jar that she keeps her heart in, or it reminds them of a scarab beetle. I cannot see either. That's not to say that that's not what they were referencing or that those people aren't correct, but just, oh, that's my lens cap, baby girl. Be careful, please. For me personally, I don't really see it. So yeah, the cage is really the only thing that's throwing me off severely. Bye, I'll miss you. It was nice to have you, Weesey. The cage is the only thing that's throwing me off severely from this stall. So like I said, I might buy her on sale if she looks good without the cage on, but since I haven't seen that yet, for now, we're classifying her as a doll that I don't want. And then also, like, sort of in the same Scary Sweet release, but not in the main lineup, this is the Claudine that comes with, I kind of hesitate to call this a playset because I don't think that it comes with any like big playset pieces like you would typically think of. It's more of like an activity set, I think is probably a good way to put it. And I do think that this activity set looks really, really fun for people who aren't me. This just isn't the sort of thing that like I'm particularly drawn to, but I feel like kids would have a blast using this set to build and customize the cakes and like cupcakes and stuff for the party. I think that's a really cute concept. I could even understand why other adults would enjoy doing it because it's like a fun DIY way to kind of make props for your dolls, basically. Like, I do think this is really cool. It's just not for me personally, but like, it's really precious. More importantly, this doll is easily to me the best playset doll that we have gotten from Monster High G3 so far. This is so impressive to me. I feel like obviously with any sort of play or activity set, there's going to be a lot of budget put into the pieces that are like for play purposes, for activity purposes. And so therefore the like budget for the doll itself goes down. And so they tend to look a little bit worse. I feel like they struck such a nice balance here about making her still look like she actually has a well-designed outfit while understanding that the budget is lower. I think that her cage skirt is so cool. The cage corset, that's like a separate piece. That's also really amazing. I like the print and everything on the clothing. Honestly, if this doll was by herself, I would buy her, absolutely. I just don't want to pay for like the whole activity set, knowing that I have no interest in that and like all of those pieces would be going to waste. I would immediately have to like donate them or sell them somewhere. So I don't want to get her just because I don't want all the stuff she comes with, but exceptional doll otherwise. Like I think for a playset doll, she looks absolutely fabulous. Cannot say the same for this next one. I can't believe this is getting released. Like I genuinely have questions. So this is Frankie with a like create a pet playset. I don't even know what it's actually technically called, but it's sort of like the concept of create a monster from Gen 1 of Monster High, except instead of like a full doll, it's just the pets where you can swap the bodies and like the ears and stuff and basically do custom G3 pets, which I do think is like a fairly cute concept. Again, I think it's a good idea for a play/activity set. It's just not something that I would really buy. And unlike the Claudine, I cannot say that this Frankie is like an exceptionally designed doll because what the fuck is that? What? I I like was baffled seeing this picture on Instagram for the first time. I could not believe this was real. I know so many people have already said this, but this looks straight out of like the worst parts of G2. I will say, like I say quite frequently on the channel, that not everything in G2 was bad. But this Frankie is like if you took all of the worst parts of G2 minus the molded on clothing, that's like the one thing we were spared, and put it onto one doll. They look terrible. They genuinely look horrible. Like the random print. I think that the jacket could be fun. I like transparent plastic, but like compared with everything else, it's not doing enough. The shoes, not a terrible mold, but they're really boring, no painted detail. And like I know that we do have a lot of G3 shoes that don't have painted detail. I think it just is within combination with everything else. It feels worse. The horrible, like really aggressively plastic stethoscope, the random ski goggles, and this horrid, horrid hair blend. I'm so sorry. I just hate this hair blend for Frankie. They do not look right. Plus, you can tell it's polypropylene from the photo by the way it's acting. Everything about this is just genuinely awful. I wish I didn't have to know that that doll exists, but unfortunately, here we are. Taking a break from dolls proper for just a second, I think this is the Boutique Hotel playset. something like that. I don't know the exact names. Like I said, I'm so bad at these. I don't know why. It's like so hard for me to remember G3 like lines and names and stuff. But this is a like hotel playset that G3 is coming out with. And I do think that this is a cute concept. We are starting to see the Dracula's Potion Room that I talked about in a separate Dolls I Do Want video. We're starting to see that pop up at Walmart. And I feel like it's interesting because that's the sort of playset level that feels almost more like a backdrop. Like it's just kind of adding scenery, but it doesn't take up that much extra space compared to just having dolls, especially if you like display a lot of dolls within it. It kind of like doesn't take up that much space. And then you have the huge castle, like the whole school that's like absolutely enormous, takes up tons of space. This hotel feels like a nice in between where you do get some of that building aspect. You've got multiple rooms, but it's not so ginormous as the school play set. So I do think that this is fun. I think that it serves a good purpose. There's a bedroom, a bathroom, a sort of lounge area, and then a kitchen. So I do feel like there's a lot of ways that you could display different characters, different dolls in different scenarios here. This just isn't really for me because, as y'all know, I am very rarely a playset person. I'm very, very picky when it comes to playsets. So I don't have any critique on this one. I think it's a cool concept. I think that it does fill a niche, and I think that it looks nicely designed. It's just not really something that I'm in the market for. Okay, back to dolls. This was the Fan Club doll this year, the Venus McFlytrap. And once again, I had a whole video on this one. This one still hurts because I love Venus, but I did not like her outfit for this doll. So I'll link that if you haven't seen me rant about it, if you want to get like all of my in-depth opinions. But basically, I really, really love the base doll. I think she's gorgeous, even though I do think that she deserves some sort of undercut or side shave. And I like the shoes. I like the vines and everything. It really just was the outfit that absolutely killed this doll for me. So it hurt, but I did not buy her. And that brings us to the last entry for Monster High, and this is where I might crash out a little bit. So I do apologize if I say anything really extreme. It is like to be funny, okay? Like I know I'm overreacting. I know I'm being silly. I'm not trying to like actually be serious. But the latest line of Skulltimate Secret dolls, Hauntlywood, this one is like sort of similar to Bright's Camera Action. It took me so long to get that name. Oh my gosh. From Gen 1. It's not exactly the same. It doesn't feel quite as one-to-one as like Sweet 1600 and Scary Sweet Birthday, but it is sort of similar in that it is supposed to be like that Hollywood glamour sort of situation. And I feel like I am fucking crazy scrolling through Instagram, looking at people posting these dolls because everyone loves them. Everyone is raving about these dolls. And I'm just sitting there in a corner like, am I crazy? Because I think they look terrible. First of all, I think that part of what bothers me is also that it feels like there was a bit of a flip. Like we got not like prototypes proper, but sort of design images of what these dolls might look like. And it didn't feel like those were super well received. Like people were really nervous about them. I was nervous about them, but I was like, okay, I'm going to withhold judgment until we see the actual dolls. They look exactly the same. Okay, they look exactly the same, but all of a sudden, now that they're on actual dolls, it feels like people are raving over these. And I'm so confused. Like I'm so genuinely confused about how everyone apparently loves these dolls because I genuinely think that they are like horrible. I'm so sorry. I think that they're horrible. We're not going to be talking about Caddy in this video because I do think that she is salvageable. So she is going into the Dolls I Do Want video. I'll obviously discuss her at that point. But we are going to talk about Frankie first. Let's go ahead. I do like some things about them. I will say across the board, I like the base dolls. Like that's not really the problem. It's the clothing for me that is irking me and that I can't understand why people are like vibing with it so hard. Whatever, it's fine. Like obviously you're allowed to like what you like. It's just it's so funny when it feels like I'm literally the only human being being like, no, this is ugly. Like that's what's getting me is it's not that it feels like it's like a divisive release. I feel like literally everyone else loves these and I just don't. So things that I do like, I like the hair blend. It's like a very, very dark blue. And I think that's fun because we've gotten blue for Frankie. We've also gotten black for them. And so like to have this very dark blue that's kind of in the middle, I do think that that's like a cool thing to see. Base doll's fine. Their makeup looks decent. I like this shade of pink better for them. I have complained a lot about pink on Frankie before, and I still think that it's overused. I think they don't need that much pink. But in this case, the pink lip doesn't really bother me. I think it's a good shade for them. I think the concept of the sort of disco ball reference on the puff sleeve is cool. I just don't know that I'm buying the execution. And I think that the skirt is inoffensive. Those are all of the nice things I have to say. Okay, so then to get into the things that I don't like, the mixing metals, I've seen so many people be like, oh yeah, normally I wouldn't be into this, but it's okay because it's Frankie and they mix everything. I understand that conceptually. Like, I do understand that Frankie is like a mix and match monster at heart. They always are going to have things that are mismatched, that aren't like exactly the same. But I just personally cannot abide by this mixing of the metals. Like, sometimes I can take it, sometimes I can't. More often than not, I can't. I honestly think that when I like find it acceptable, I'm kind of just gaslighting myself. And like trying to not have it bother me as much as it does, because it does in fact bother me. I did see one comment on Instagram. I think it was Instagram, might have been TikTok. One comment being like, no, the only acceptable use of gold in Frankie's design would be if it was like a matching bracelet with Cleo. That, sure, that's like one item. I can't do this gold belt, one gold shoe. I cannot deal with it. I don't think that it looks good. The sheer amount of plastic is ungodly. You cannot even see their shirt. I do think that it might be more of a bodysuit based on how it tucks into the skirt, but you can't even see their shirt. They've got so much plastic going on. There's a plastic necklace, plastics, a plastic like cage corset situation, and a plastic belt all right there in a row. And it just is absolutely egregious to me. It's way, way too much. And then the biggest thing that I feel like I'm crazy, but everyone is loving these new hand molds. The hands are like a color to match the gloves because all of the characters have like faux gloves in this line. We don't know yet whether they're going to come with extra hands so they can have sort of their base skin tone. I really hope they do, because we are getting that with the Fearbook Venus, where she has like regular hands but an extra pair of hands to look like gardening gloves. I hope we get extras with this too, because otherwise you're just stuck with this, and that feels kind of limiting because like you kind of have to have the gloves on then, and it's just bizarre. But everyone really likes the hand mold. I'll zoom in as best I can in the editing process because there are long nails and rings molded on and like some other something or another on the back of Frankie's hand. And like in concept, yes, I do like that. I have no problem with long nails. I have long nails myself. They're natural, but like even longer acrylics, what a vibe. Like, you go, girl. That's great. But okay, I'm so sorry. I'm like actually really frustrated with this. The whole concept is that these gloves are like sort of a mesh. I mean, like the fabric piece that goes over their arm is like a loose mesh. So acrylic nails would poke right through this. I'm sorry. I know like it's not something everyone cares about and like not everyone thinks this way, but I can't help but think that way. These acrylic nails would bust right through that mesh. It's not even funny. You could do like the whole thing that like some people will do. I've seen it for like drag or cosplay, stuff like that, where you put nails on top of mesh gloves. And you know what? That's a vibe. But these nails aren't painted. And what's more of a sin to me is that the ring isn't painted. So it's like, ooh, fun hand mold, but like it doesn't make sense. Why would you wear a ring underneath a glove, especially a mesh glove? That thing is going to get caught and it's going to rip. I'm just, I know no one else thinks about this. Okay, I do know that. I get that no one cares, but I care and it bothers me. And I just think that this whole design looks like a hot mess and I'm so confused about why everyone loves it. But like we can't stop there because I still have to talk about Claudine. So, when it comes to Claudine, again, I do like the base doll. So many people are excited about her hair, and I am also one of them. We haven't gotten like a ton of dolls with G3 that have like a very tight curl to them, and this does look like she's got a decently tight curl pattern, so it's really, really cool to get to see her rock more of a slightly more natural hairstyle. That's an absolute vibe for Claudine. The makeup is incredible. She looks so dramatic, so glamorous, just so, so fun, especially that gold on the eyelid. It just pops so intensely. I think it's beautiful. But like all of the other problems that I had with Frankie, I still have with Claudine, unfortunately, because this is like another Sculptment Secrets line where all of the dolls are basically in the same outfit. There's just like slight tweaks to them to kind of make it slightly more their personality. So like this is a very similar jacket to what Caddy has. Not so much Frankie. Frankie has a bit more of a unique jacket, but this is like almost one-to-one the jacket that Caddy has. They all have almost the same skirt, the same glove situation. I just think it's really boring. Like, I don't mind some of the pieces being similar to tie the line together, but when each doll is wearing essentially the same outfit, it just is really boring to me. Like, it's just not as exciting. I don't know. Still lots of plastic, all of that stuff. So yeah, like all of the same critiques, the hands and everything. Although it does look like she got some painted detail on her rings, which makes me wonder why Frankie did not. That's kind of bizarre. I don't know what the situation is there. My other complaint about this line as a whole is that this is supposed to be Hollywood glamour. Like, it's literally called Hauntlywood. I think it's like Hauntlywood Mysteries, technically. This is not. I think it's very hard to do a line that is supposed to feel glamorous while using such an excessive amount of plastic pieces. Like, I do understand there's not really another way for them on this sort of budget to do a lot of jewelry. And like, I get why jewelry would seem, very glamorous, very Hollywood, but I'm just not buying it. Like, it's so chunky. It's so much. It's so all over the place. Like, the plastic is it's just not giving glamour. It's not, to me, giving Hollywood. Like, I don't know. I feel like the vibes are off, and apparently I'm the only person who feels that way. So thank you for letting me rant, because I really needed to get this out. But we can finally move on to Barbie now. So, starting off with Barbie Dream Besties, we do have a new line of roller skating themed dolls, which is really fun. I do think it's like just a nice concept for a line. Y'all know me, I love a good roller skating doll. This first one, though, I think this is the Renee. One day I'll know their names. Today's maybe that day, if I'm correct, but like, it also might be that I'm entirely wrong. This just isn't my vibe. I don't think it's terrible. I do think that the crimped hair and like the hair clips is really, really cute. I like the concept of the fuzzy two-piece. Like, that is kind of fun to me. I just don't like the smiley face flowers all over it. I don't know. It's just like not quite the vibe. So nothing that I hate about her. I don't think she's terrible. I just don't feel particularly drawn to her. Then, okay. So Brooklyn. Brooklyn almost doesn't belong on this list. And I don't want to spoil like too much of what I'm going to be talking about in the next video, like the dolls I do want video, but I will be talking about Barbie in that video in a very positive way. And the short version is that I think I'm going to buy that one. And if I like her, I will also want Brooklyn. I just like that outfit a little bit more. So for now, Brooklyn is on the dolls that I don't want list in case that purchase goes horribly awry. But I could be persuaded to change my mind so easily. I think she's so fun. Her makeup is fabulous. The shirt and like the pants with the airbrushing detail, it's such a vibe. I think that the like fur bell bottom is really interesting. It's very different. I could understand why a lot of people would hate it, but it's really unique to me. And I do think that it's really, really cool. So like, if I like the Barbie, if I buy her and I like that experience, pretend Brooklyn wasn't in this video, because I do like everything about her design. I just haven't bought a Dream Besties yet. So I'm like not 100% sure if I'm going to like the line when I have it like in hand. So we need a test subject, which is going to be Barbie. But Brooklyn's right there. And then lastly, we have Teresa. And again, I don't necessarily think this is like a terrible design. I do like the concept of the cardigan with the big puff sleeves. I think the shirt she's got gone on underneath with like the red stitching is really cute. I just don't feel really a lot of emotion when I see her. So it's not that I think she's hideous or ugly or anything like that. I just don't feel strongly enough to want to spend money on this doll, so I'm not going to get her. And then the last line for today's video is going to be the second wave of the Barbie Deluxe Style dolls, which unfortunately I don't feel as good about as I did with the first wave. I still have some nice things to say, but we're going to be discussing 3 out of the 4 dolls in today's video. So to start off with this blonde Barbie, I like the idea of the huge poof sleeve because y'all know I love a dramatic sleeve. I just don't think that I like it how it's executed with the top here. I think the pants could be good in a different outfit, but like, I don't know, all together, like the full package is just not something that I feel super attracted to, so not gonna get her. This second Barbie here, dark brown hair, pink dress. I just don't like this dress. I'm so sorry. I like the base doll. I think she looks really cute. This is just not the dress for me. Don't like the bubble skirt. I think I've said before on here that I'm not 100% against bubble skirts. I think they can be executed in a cute way. This is not a cute way to me. This one is not working. I think that the metallic fabric, this line does have sort of a metallic theme, if that wasn't clear. I don't like it on the bubble skirt because you came back, hello. It looks like a deflated balloon to me. Like it's just not the vibe, which is sad because again, I do like the base doll. I just cannot get behind this outfit. And then last doll of the video, final one from the Barbie Deluxe Style Wave 2 is the curvy one. And I love the shirt and I love the shorts separately. I do not like them together. I don't feel like this works. I think this sort of top maybe needs more skin showing between the like top and the bottom, or maybe it needs the peplum to be a little bit lower. I don't know, like something about the way that it's fitting just feels very Hi, that was so loud. Are you okay? Come here. Do you want me to pick you up and put you back on the table? Come here. She made me retrieve her, but now she's happy to be here. She likes to pretend she doesn't want love, but she does. She just like wants me to put an effort to give her love. Anyway, yeah, like something about the way that this outfit is fitting just doesn't feel intentional. It doesn't feel quite right. Like, you obviously can have things that don't fit to like the norm, the standard beauty that people would typically go for. But I think that it is one thing when it's very obvious that you're trying to not conform to the standard silhouettes and beauty standard, and a different thing when it just looks like an accident. And this unfortunately looks like an accident to me. So, like, I like the idea of the shirt, but yeah, not with these shorts. I like the shorts, but not with the shirt, which again is sad because just like the last one we looked at, I like the space doll, but I'm not sold on the outfit, so I won't be buying her either. But yes, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I cannot believe that we got to start and end the video with Miss Weiss on the table. Like, I feel so blessed. I hope you guys do too. I love having her here. I know like it gets me distracted sometimes and she can be kind of noisy, but I love her so much. Anyway, though, as per usual, I would love to hear what you guys have to say about all the dolls that I talked about today. Do you agree? Do you not want these? Or do you love these? Let me know. Especially with the Hauntlywood dolls. Like, I just need one other human being to agree that they're ugly. I need one other person just to know that I'm not crazy. So, like, please sound out down below if you also think that those were sort of a misstep. But regardless, I would like to hear your thoughts, even if you are just going to call me crazy. I can take it. But yeah, that is going to be it for me for today, guys. I have to focus on my child. She very obviously wants me. So I do hope you're able to enjoy the video today. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or your night, or whatever it might be. And I will catch you in the next one. Weesey, do you have anything you want to say? You want to purr into the mic? Adorable. Bye, guys.